Since we've already done the invocation and pledge, we'll move on. We have a full quorum. Of the minutes,
Second.
approval of agenda. Is any changes?
Ready for your approval, Mr. Chairman?
No presentation, no agenda. Into the debate agenda.
Thank you, sir. First one I have for you is a contract with McGill and Associates to perform survey for Watson Bailey Road. Watson Bailey is a dirt road about 1.37 miles in length. Commissioner Couch is working with some residents out there who have been asking to have this road considered for paving. Put together an in-house estimate. We're thinking it's going to be about $1.5 million based on what we know today. We do not have a formal survey, so there might be some right-of-way changes, but this is our first step. So if this contract is authorized, we'll get the survey underway. We'll know exactly what land we have to deal with, and we can move forward with acquiring right-of-way while we finalize the design of the actual dirt road paving, and then get this back in front of y'all to award a construction contract. So today, we're just asking to get the survey underway, knowing that we're going to come back to you for a possible $1.5 million and the acquisition of right-of-way.
This is TIA discretionary?
Today is the TIA discretionary for the survey part. We have not identified the funding right now. We have ideas, but we will bring that funding source to you with a contract or when we start purchasing right away.
I think it'd be a capital improvements project. I don't think it'd be a discretionary project.
And the residents in the area want this, understand?
Yes, I've spoken with, I would say 90% of the residents.
I would say we're gonna have to put it out. Staff is extremely busy right now with all the TIA projects we have, so having McGill do the survey. We'll have to have somebody do actual erosion control design, some piping design. It's a dirt road, so it's minimal design, but we'll probably come back to you later, once we have our survey done to lay out actual construction design engineering design contract and then a construction contract.
I just want to mention how much I appreciate you guys looking into this.
Move to consent.
Second. 30 miles.
We have like 35, 36 miles of dirt road left. I talked with Mr. Holloway last week about some of the ideas we have about some of them trying to get back on a program of getting some dirt roads paved. Our goal is to start as far away from Appling and work our way back since that's where they're located. So that's been our focus in the past, is them working close to home. Like right now they have a dirt road on Wrightsboro Road that they have to drive their motor graders for miles just to get to it to maintain. We're ramping up to get back into the dirt road paving process.
And obviously, some residents don't want.
That is correct. Battle, half do, half don't.
Well, if you have a straightaway, it can become a teenage drag strip if you're not careful.
You can, and another thing to consider is when you live around large tracts of land on a dirt road, developers would have to pave the road out of their pocket to develop land. Once we pave it, it opens up for development at a much cheaper cost. Land development could follow a dirt road paving. We've seen that. Hamilton Road's a great example. Long dirt road, very little housing on it. We paved it immediately, neighborhood, several hundred units. So things those residents need to consider when they request the dirt road.
Morning. I have just one item for you to consider this morning. We're requesting an amendment to the tap fee schedule for residential 1.5 and 2 inch taps. Currently, there's not a schedule for those, but we do have about 123 1.5 inch and 43 2 inch taps in our system, and we get those on a rare occasion. And there's nothing to kind of direct our staff on how to address those and charge for those larger taps. So we're just putting this in place so that we're treating all the customers the same. So we're recommending to increase the tap fees based on the sheet provided. Or not increase, there's no increase, just add the 1.5 and 2 inch based on the sheet provided.
More commercial?
Usually it's rare that we get a 1.5 or a 2 inch. They're typically commercial taps. There's occasion we make the homeowners get calculations and provide us usages in order to to get a 1.5-inch tap. Sometimes it's done for head loss because they're so far off the road, they need a bigger line just not to lose pressure at their house. But again, it's pretty rare, but we do have them on occasion, so we just want a standard as to how, what to follow when we do get these requests.
Since it's a fee, is it a debate item? Debate.
Second.
Mr. Chairman,
Go.
could we go back, Mr. Chairman? Could we go back to the first, Mr. Chairman of this committee? The first item, I believe that you had a motion and a second, and there was not a vote or a move that to consent, so. Sir? Can we, you want to call for a vote, or do you want to move it to consent?
I said move to consent.
Okay. All right, there we go. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Voted.
Yes. Yeah, well, you're good. You moved the second one to consent as well, so I think we're ready for, I'm sorry, debate. Yes, sir. So we're ready for the third item.
Okay, engineering services.
Good morning.
Morning.
This first item is a lighting services agreement with Georgia Power at two intersections. One is Hereford Farm Road and Lawrence Drive, and the other is Louisville Road at Old Louisville Road for safety lighting. Staff received requests from residents along these, near these intersections. Safety lighting, staff studied the intersections they warranted per our current policy. We reached out to Georgia Power and requested proposals. There are existing poles to put these lights on, but their annual costs are shown in the chart here. This would be an IPTF item. Staff recommends approval.
Second.
So moved.
This next item is an overhead easement to Georgia Power at 1 Dolphin Way. This is at our river, the entrance to our Riverside Park. This is in preparation for the Hardy McManus Road Widening Project, which will be another item next. This is a non-exclusive easement. We've reached out to Water Utility, C3BU, Community Services, Planning, Road Construction have all reviewed this. And that's why it's not exclusive, because we do have water utility infrastructure and C3BU at that location.
Make sure, Kyle, when you turn your head.
I'm sorry. Yes, sir. So we reached out to road construction, water utility, C3BU, planning. Everyone has reviewed, and we've gone back to Georgia Power and requested a non-exclusive easement, so they don't have complete rights over it, because we do have infrastructure in there, and they've provided that, so staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
This next item is a Georgia Power relocation agreement for Hardy McManus Road Widening Project. Early last year, Georgia Power submitted a relocation agreement for a total cost of over $1.4 million. They did a prior rights research on their end, and they said it have prior rights over their infrastructure. It's going to cost the county or the project, the TIA project, $1.4 million to relocate their utilities. On July 18th of last year, the board approved a contract with Surveying and Mapping, also known as SAM, to form a third-party prior rights research in the amount of $22,950. And they came back after negotiating with Georgia Power, or Georgia Power came back after negotiating with SAM and the county with a revised agreement that went from $1.4 million to $319,836 to relocate their utilities.
Move to consent quickly.
Second.
Running out of TIA.
Yeah, kudos to staff for that. I mean, I think that's a
Fantastic.
good example of how hard we work to try to save money. And this was a really good example of them being diligent and saving our taxpayers $1 million.
That's great.
That in mind for the next item.
Yeah, we're gonna spend it somewhere else.
This next item is a construction agreement with CSX Transportation for the Hardy McManus Road Widening Project. This is in the amount of $945,721. This is for project reimbursements, allocation of work, construction procedures, initial cost estimates, insurance requirements for the contractor. Basically, CSX tells us what it's going to cost to widen in their right-of-way. And we don't have a whole lot of negotiating power with that, but we do our best to work with them to streamline the process the best we can and ensure we get in and get out of there right away as soon as we can. We've already authorized, or the Board of Commissioners has already authorized $65,808. So the remaining amount that they're estimating to complete the widening there is $945,721 at a TIA. If there is an overrun, then we would have to come back to the board. If there's a surplus when the widening's done, then we would get a refund for that amount. Staff recommends approval.
Realize that railroad has tremendous power, authority, and actually, epitome of the administrative. Have any control over what they request, or basically it's a blank checkbook, guys, and you just do it?
Basically, I pushed back pretty hard in August of last year, and it didn't go well. I think it delayed the project. I tried, we've tried, staff's tried.
The way the rights work is the railroad was there before our road was, by their rules, not the other way around.
Right, but I also remember when we were building the walking path on Fox Road, it took 5 years.
Did the widening in front of Goodwill and Washington Road, we had to write CSX a check for $300,000 to pay somebody to watch us work. The whole job is to make sure they're wrong. $1,000.
So, I applied for the job. They turned me down. Wasn't qualified. Just from a timing standpoint, across a railroad, does that delay the widening of the road?
It's all worked in with the contractor schedule the best we can. I don't think it will be noticed in the ultimate overall construction schedule. And this is the last piece of the puzzle. So if and when the board agrees to this, we will send them an email with the signed document. They're going to overnight the final easement to us, and we will let the project, we're advertised to let in August is our goal.
Move to consent.
Okay.
This next item is an independent contractor agreement with Pond and Company for the Clary Cut Old Union Road Alignment and Intersection Improvement Project. This is a TIA project as well. This is for the project to realign Old Union Road and really tie to the Clary Cut Road intersection with the roundabout at Appling Harlem Road. In addition, we would, county delivering the project, we would make improvements at Old Union and Fairview as an intersection with Appling Harlem Road. This is a contract agreement with Pond conceptual design phase only because we don't know where the final alignment is going to be. We don't want to execute a complete design contract and not know where we're surveying. So this is to set the alignment and figure out what the project's going to look like so that we can project in design phase.
Have we worked with Pond and Company before? I just didn't recognize
We
that.
have. They're the engineer of record on Harding McManus Road
Okay.
widening project, I believe, Horizon South.
Okay.
No,
JR for.
that's correct.
Okay.
I think Rich, I believe we received 4 proposals. They were the lowest, most responsive.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
Next item is a change order, number 2 with ER Snell Contractor for the Horizon South Parkway widening project. Basically, once construction's commenced, staff identified an existing sanitary sewer line that was in conflict with the proposed storm drain, storm culvert under the road. Wasn't a lot to do. Staff looked at several different ways to realign these utilities at this conflict point, and really any additional, any change to the design would have caused a tremendous increase, require force mains, lift stations, et cetera. So we requested ER Snell provide a proposal to relocate the sewer lines to gravity lines and came back with a proposal of $217,805.40. Staff's reviewed and agrees with their numbers. Staff recommends approval. Funded out of TIA.
Second. Kyle, I rode by there yesterday. They have not cut that
Yes, ma'am.
grass. Thank you.
This next item is the acceptance of improvements for Southwind Village Phase 3B, new development, or an extension of the existing Southwind Village off Hereford Farm Road, except the roadway, stormwater, water, and sanitary sewer systems, and the rights-of-way and the easements associated with that infrastructure. This does not include the detention pond, which will remain private.
Second.
Last item is acceptance of water utility improvements along Magnolia Court. This is for the water system and the associated easements on that corridor. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
Staff reports.
Yes, sir. I've included the year-to-date budget report and the water and sewer construction reports for your review, and I'm prepared to answer any questions you may have. We've given the contractor substantial completion at Clarks Hill water treatment plant. That system's up and running fine. We have not done that at Blanchard. They have done startup, and we have been operating the UV lamps because there's no risk in that, just making sure that works okay, but we haven't given them substantial completion because they finished everything during our busiest time. And right now, I'm just not really willing to risk injecting chemicals and, a mistake or something happen, and then we have to dump a clear well when we're pumping 30 million gallons. So when it slows down a little bit, we'll probably go ahead and finish the testing on that and just verify everything's operational the way it should be so we can give them substantial completion.
On the other plant.
At the Blanchard plant, the one over in Point Comfort Road.
I realize, I guess we missed spring when the blue, but other than that, I don't recall receiving complaints about the water this year.
We're not. We're continually testing, and the MIB in Jasmine's been very low so far, but usually we get our peak times in the fall. So October's usually our worst, but we'll start seeing it. Usually July, we'll start seeing it, and August, September. But September, October is generally our worst time. So we should have some time to start testing as the water usage declines, probably into August, 1st of September.
So here we have the roadway projects and the roadway resurfacing reports. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
No, sir.
Surfacing report.
Sir? Yes, sir. Same. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Question. Any commissioners' comment, information? Nothing, we'll move right into executive session.
Motion to
Second. Unless Russell or Andy has anything to say.
Adjourn the meeting, 9:07.